Good evening. Hope that everyone's doing great. Glad to see you here. This video is going to be just a little bit different, and it comes from a subby who asked a question that said, hey, do you have an intro video where you talk about who you are and where you're from? And I thought about that and went, no, I don't. And I've honestly not even thought about it, but I certainly want to know more about you guys, and I think that you should know some things about me. So here it is. Tonight we're going to talk about me, going to talk about I. And let me know if you know what that reference is from. So here we go, a little bit about me. Let's start with my name. I chose LaurelBelle as part of my channel name because I was born in Pennsylvania. And I think that Pennsylvania is one of the most beautiful places in the world. I love it. I love to go back. My grandpa had a dairy farm up there, and it's now my uncle's, and I go there truly as often as I can. I love it. I don't get up there as much as I would want, but I love it in the spring and the summer and the fall. The winter can be rough, as it is in the northeastern states sometimes, but still just gorgeous. So in Pennsylvania, their flower is called the mountain laurel. And I've got a picture of it here that I want to share it with you. That's what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful, and once a year they have, the state has an actual Laurel Festival where you get, and it's in a really small town, and you get to go, and they have like a little fair, and they do this wonderful parade, and people come from as far as Canada to march in this parade, and it's beautiful, and I love the town, and everyone's so friendly, and it's such a great thing to be a part of. So I have always identified with the mountain laurel. Now, as you look at it, it does have kind of a bell shape to it, but that's not why I chose bell on the end of laurel. So I was born in Pennsylvania. I lived most of my life in Florida, so definitely the South. That's where I grew up. And I moved to New York for a period of time, and while I was there for about 5 years, the people that I worked with called me the Southern Belle. So it kind of stuck. I liked it. So what I did was I just merged those two names, Laurel and Belle, because I feel like my heart resides in both places, in the north, in the hills and mountains of Pennsylvania, and then also right on the beach, my friend. I love to be down there, and I love to put my toes in the sand or the dirt if I'm by a lake. So that's what it is. It's from the tip top of the United States to the bottom. On the eastern side. So that's a little bit about my name, and I did make just some notes over here, and they're just simply what topics to talk about, not necessarily telling me what to say. So if I occasionally look over there, I just want to make sure that I tell you the things that were on my heart before I pushed record. So that's really it for my name. And let's talk about my family for a little bit. I have a really huge family. I have many brothers and sisters. As a matter of fact, we could probably be a TLC show on our own, and that's okay. I was a later in life child, so there are actually some of them who were grown and moved on before I came along. So I don't know all of them. Some of them are actually kind of like aunts and uncles to me rather than brothers and sisters, but there are a lot of them. And a lot of them reside throughout the country. So that's a good thing too. But let's see, I also have a very special guy. I think that he is absolutely the bee's knees, and I think he's Prince Charming. I believe it with all my heart, but I think that maybe some days he doesn't know that he's Prince Charming, but he is. He's absolutely wonderful, and I'm grateful to have him in my life. Children, I do not have any children. Early on, there was a surgery that was required, which meant that I was not able to do that. And I do love children, so that is a sad part of my life. And it is something like, some days are more difficult with others than that. It says things that I have accepted, but like let's say Mother's Day, you will not find me in a church service. I spend that with my mom and with family, but I definitely don't like to be out and about too much embracing that one. So enough about sad stuff. Let's see. I also have a really large group of friends that, it's so funny that we've hung together for so long. You know, when you have some people that just know you so well, they kind of become family. I have a lovely network of individuals like that, and we all love music, so we kind of get together and we just sit down and people pull out their instruments, and it's just such a wonderful and easy time, and we just sit back and we talk about sometimes important things, but more often than not, there's a lot of laughing that goes on, and which kind of leads, I guess, into my personality. I love to laugh. I'm a funny gal, very funny. And you know, a good evening for me is a night where your cheeks start to hurt because you've smiled and laughed too much, where you have to start kind of massaging it a little bit. That's a good night for me. You know, those are my favorites. You know, it's funny because there are a lot of people who actually think that I'm a fake individual because I am pretty upbeat most of the time, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be down. I mean, everybody's had their moments in their life when they're anxious or sad, but I'll have to be really honest. And this is a secret about me, I guess. When I was young, I used to, you know, like a teenager, I had brooding friends, and I wanted to brood with them. So I would get in the morning, I'd be brushing my teeth, and I'd get out of the shower, and I, you know, drying off my hair, and I would go, okay, today is the day you will be sad. You'll be sad, and it's going to be a bad day. And I would I would try my best to make myself be sad and somber, and I would, you know, go out to the bus stop, and I'd get on the bus, and of course it didn't last 2 minutes, and I was pretty jovial. So that really, honest and truly, is my personality. So what you see on the videos is really what you get. I am like this for the most part, and you know, honestly, we all have our bad days, so I'm not saying that every day, every moment is like that, but pretty much this is my personality. I do call it the puppy personality. So as an example, if you were to say, I like to go fishing, I would go, that's my favorite thing, and I'm so willing to go do it with you. And if you said, I want to go to Disney World, I would be like, that's my favorite thing, and I would want to go do it with you. I'm truly game for anything. I love everybody. I love everything. And, you know, there are individuals that don't, you know, that are kind of taken aback by that kind of personality. And like a dog, I will find that person in the room that isn't that excited about me, and I just want to go sit on their lap and make them like me. I can't help it. That's who I am. So laughing, puppy personality. You know, my motto that I live with in life is, if you touch it, make it right. I had one of my managers many years ago said that to me, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know why. It just really spoke to my heart. So I try my best in everything that I do. If there's anything out of place, or if I've touched anything and I realize that something needs to be done, I try my best not to pass the buck. And I try to do whatever needs to be done to make that right. So that's it. That's my motto. And then I guess my next one would be also forgive always. I know me personally, I have made a lot of mistakes in life, and I'm grateful for those people who have loved me all through the mistakes, and I want to make sure that I am gracious and loving for anyone who comes into my world and makes mistakes, because we all do that along the way, and it's just kind of silly to hold grudges and to keep people at arm's length. So there's that. Let's see, my favorite loves and things. So one of them is, as far as food goes, I love homemade comfort foods. So my dad has passed. So you've seen videos with me and my mom, but my dad has passed away. But he was a baker, and it instilled a love of the sweet things in life. He was good at what he did, but he had some really cool comfort food dishes that you know, we all still kind of tend to make. And with it being a big family, you know, when we get together, it's at the kitchen table. You know, we're just pretty relaxed individuals and folks. So that's one of my loves, is to having people over, enjoying good food, which is probably not always that great. I do try to, as much as I can, to to eat a healthy lifestyle, but that stuff is definitely a love of mine. I do love chocolate. I'm a milk chocolate girl and not necessarily a dark chocolate girl, but I probably wouldn't say no if you happen to have a piece of dark chocolate, but milk chocolate. Actually, you know, the white chocolate, that's my favorite, I think. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite. And if you've ever seen, you know, the Toblerone, where it's the white chocolate with the honey in it, I would probably push you down to get a piece of it. So, and I would apologize, and I would hope to be forgiven, but I really do like Toblerone. It's really good stuff. So there's that, and then, oh gosh, let's see, animals. I am an animal fanatic, and it doesn't matter what animal it is. It can be a dog, a cat, a dolphin. Dolphins are my absolute favorite, y'all. I thought that when I was younger, in my heart, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I wanted to be a little bit like Dr. Dolittle. My hope was one day that the noises that they make would just translate to me and I would understand what was on their hearts. Like, I love dolphins. When I was younger, we used to go to this place called Marineland, and you know, Marineland has since become something very different, and it's kind of sad. I would want my nephew to be able to experience what I experienced as a child down there, but I used to go with one of my sisters all the time, and we'd get down there, and there's a big tank that used to be called the Jumping Dolphin Tank. And if you got there early in the morning, they were all kind of excited and they wanted to play. And there were about 3 basketballs outside of the tank that would be there, sometimes inside the tank. But anyway, we would get there and we would throw the basketball into the water. And for about, 15 to 20 minutes until, it was time for their shows, they would play basketball with my sister and I. That's one of my most favorite memories, and I can tell you from personal experience that if you don't catch the basketball from a dolphin, they will tell you about yourself. And it happened a lot. I got chastised a lot by the dolphins, but it really was one of my most favorite moments in life. I love dolphins. I also love music. I'm very musically inclined. I was a church pianist for many years. I no longer am, but I love playing the piano. There are other instruments I have picked up along the way. I actually do play in a very tiny group. Like I said earlier, we all kind of get together. One of the things that we love to do is go to a nursing home here locally, and we try to do that about once a month and just kind of sing and get to know the individuals that are there. And it's one of my favorite things. It's like I look forward to it on a monthly basis, and there are some things that, that I get together with other musicians that we do fairly regularly. And I really do love it. It's a really good thing. So, if you are musically inclined, or if you just enjoy listening to music, let me know in the comments. I'm always really curious what loves about music you may have. So I love to play music. Now, as far as a genre goes, I will sit and listen to absolutely anything. Strangely enough, what I like to play the most is, I like folk music and a little bit of bluegrass music. I love to play that kind of stuff. I also tend to really gravitate towards classical music, as far as like listening to music or playing on the piano. But I don't know if I gravitate towards the folk music because we used to go camping. When you go camping, or you did when you were younger, like you go to camp as a kid, you learn on the Michael Ruger Boat of Shores, and maybe that has some great memories for me or whatever. But again, here's probably where my puppy dog personality comes in. I will sit and listen to any, if it's on in the car, I'm not gonna be sad. I'll just be like, oh, that's my favorite song. So it really doesn't matter what genre. I really do love it. Let's see. I think that's enough of my loves. Let's talk about what I do. So I am a project manager, and I am fortunate enough to be able to work from home to do what I do. And I love what I do. I love the individuals that I work with. I love the idea. And as a matter of fact, what you see behind me is part of my home office. And I love it. The only thing that makes me sad is I am really a true people person. I love everybody, and it doesn't matter who you are, what type of person you are. I just want you to know there's an immediate love that I have for you. I will talk to people in grocery lines. I love people. So that part is kind of difficult to just be on the phone talking with people and not standing at the water cooler. But I will be very honest, being a people person, probably working from home is one of the better things for me. That means I'm not spending too much time at someone's desk or at the water cooler. I'm actually getting work done. So that's a really good thing, and I love doing that. So that's the main thing that I do. I also have gotten into taking purses, and mostly luxury purses, and trying to rehab them when I can. And I have done some sales on that, and that's a very small thing that I do, but it is kind of something that I really enjoy, learning how to take something that has been battered and make it okay again. I think that's really fantastic. So I enjoy doing that. And on the volunteer side of things, I love dogs, and one of my favorite breed of animals is the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, which is, also known as the Queen's dog. And, I have to tell you, I have a little fascination with Europe, and probably Britain mostly. And I have been watching the Queen with her dogs for many, many years, and they always seem so cute. And I thought they were just absolutely adorable. And then I met one in person, and I absolutely fell in love. And it's been that's been it from here on out. And so what I do is if there's one that needs to be rescued, I do that. I work with that dog, and we work on some rehabbing, and if I can, we find them a home. And I have to tell you that right now, I never thought that I would be in this situation, but my home is actually empty of Pembroke Welsh Corgis. And I think that's probably because I moved back from New York I moved from New York back to Florida. And I think that I need to re-engage again and start doing that, because there really is a love there. At one point in time, I did have 9 corgis in my house at one time, and I absolutely loved it. It was complete chaos, but I thought it was better than peanut butter and jelly. I just thought it was really awesome, really, really good. So, between everything that I do, I'm not, I don't want to, I know that I talk all the time about these luxury purses and new ones that I may have, or how to get them and how to decide what you're going to do, but I want you to know, like, I am by no means like rolling in the dough. I have certain ways that I work to afford that kind of thing, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. Something in there might be helpful to you, and if anything can help you, that's great. So that brings me to, I guess, the final thing, and that is purses. So let's talk about that. From the time that I was young enough to walk, I had always a purse. And those little tiny plastic shoes that you can get in the kids section, truly, like, they'll have Barbie on the top of them. They're like, you just kind of like slide your foot into them. So I was walking in those. I don't even know how early on I was walking in those, but there were pictures of me as a kid on a swing with those little shoes on. And so I had purses, and I would actually grab my mom's wigs, put those on as well. So I've always been kind of like bent that way. And so a good shoe, it's very hard for me to turn down. My nephew and I have a running bit that every time I go shopping and he comes over to my house and he sees any of the bags, he'll just go, because it's just, I love purses and shoes a lot. So, one thing led to another, and here's the thing. I had seen Louis Vuitton before. Of course, it's really kind of hard to miss. I was a latecomer to the Louis Vuitton game, because I was dealing in the Dooney and Burkes, the Tory Burches, the Kate Spades, and all of those, and you're really happy in that realm. And I happened to read an article on some history about Louis Vuitton. And, you know, I fell in love with his story and his journey from his home going to Paris. And I thought, wow, what a fascinating individual. And I started to see the brand in a different light, and it became, you know, not that I'm related to him or anything, but it became a personal story for me. And I just loved it. And the more I thought about it, the more I started looking at that L and that V, and the more I started paying attention. And I went, wow, that's why the Speedy came into play. I had no idea. So pretty soon I'm going, you know, I think I might want a Speedy. And it's just been all uphill, downhill. However you want to look at it. I mean, it's just history. It was all history from that point in time. I really fell in love with it, as well as other brands as well. But I tend to be someone who loves history, and so I love older homes because they have a story to tell. I love people who want to tell their story. I'm so drawn to what makes people think about things or how they've lived their life. So if there's a personal connection that I can make to a bag, that's what it is for me. And then I become hooked. So that's why I'm so hooked on Louis. I absolutely love it. And, you know, I think that's really all that I can think about me. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed spending a couple of moments with me. I really, I really appreciate you stopping by and listening to, to me probably tell things that are, well, they're near and dear to my heart, and things that, you may not have known yesterday or before you even touched play on this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe. I look forward to getting to know you. And, hey guys, I challenge you. If you have any of these, so I had a list, just 6 things that I had written down, and it was family, my name, personality, loves, work, and purses. So do this for me. If you would, in the comments section, just take one of those and say, I have a big family, or I only have one sister, or maybe I'm an only child. And then, just tell me what maybe your first love was as far as purses goes. Do you enjoy wearing shoes? Just tell me a little something about yourself. I'm really very interested to know. Honest and truly, I am. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a wonderful evening. I look forward to talking to you very soon. The very next video that you will see me on is Tell It Tuesdays. So let's talk then. Bye.